you've got an amazing opportunity today to get to know the Endeavor family, the family that joins, let's say, the entrepreneur world, the best entrepreneurs across the countries. And here you have some of them. So basically, Wiktor, maybe let's start with you. So he's, of course, Poznań-based. Just tell us what you do briefly.
Thanks. Welcome everybody, Wiktor Schmidt. I'm the co-founder of Netguru. We're a software services company, as Paulina said, based out of Poland. And I also have the privilege to chair the Endeavor board, Endeavor Poland board, the organization that we, I guess, all connected with somehow.
Andrew?
Andrew Sieja, Sieya. I'm a computer programmer by trade, entrepreneur. Built a company called Relativity that is the global leader in the space of, it's a software company in the space of digital investigations and legal discovery. I też jestem Polak.
Hi, my name is Koss, and I was a co-founder and co-owner of a cosmetic company. I sold this company, and now I'm having fun and taking part in such great initiatives. So thank you, Endeavor, for having me here.
Hello everyone, my name is Arda Koterin. I am co-founder of Insider. Insider is new generation marketing automation tool, helps marketers to grow their business and design perfect customer experience. And I'm also chief customer officer and like spending all my time with the teams and the customers along. So happy to be here.
So guys, together we talk about the values of Endeavor. You often ask us what is actually the organization, what we do, how we support each other. And as we talked about dreaming big, which actually gives us, let's say, the good starting point, and we talked about scaling fast. Now we will talk, at least in my opinion, on the most challenging value, paying it forward. So maybe let's go extremely pragmatic, guys, because I believe that in some case it means mentoring, it means sharing the business experience. Basically, why you do it? Wiktor, let's start with you.
Well, I think everybody has a little bit of different reason. For me, one of the main ones is that actually I do enjoy it. I think maybe not even specifically mentoring, but like bringing people together and seeing them, kind of work together or figure something out that wasn't maybe possible before they met is something that brings me a lot of joy. So that's the main reason, and there's a couple others, but this is really the main one.
So for those of you who does not know Wiktor, so he's the only person I actually know that when we have a kind of networking or speed dating, so he's the only person that actually knows everybody. Yes, so use the opportunity well while you find, let's say, the place to talk to the guy, because he knows actually everybody and he is able to make the introduction, and he still got time to talk to you. So, Andrew, and you, and basically what are you doing in Poznań from the US? Come on.
I'm here to hang out with you guys.
Yeah, that's well.
Yeah, I would just say, like, in building a business, you can build the greatest product, you can make a bunch of good decisions, but the reality is that there is a ton of luck that goes with the good decisions, that goes with the hard work, but also there are so many people that help you along the way. And this could be like your employees, these are your customers, the professional mentors that you meet along the way. You meet a customer who becomes a mentor, maybe someone you meet at a networking function like this is someone you have a 15-minute conversation with, and they give you some type of insight that is sometimes could be transformational in terms of like how you think about your business and the decisions that you make going forward. Mm-hmm. And so a big part of it is like just paying it forward is really paying it back, right? Because so many people have like helped me along the way to build a pretty good company in Relativity.
What you say, you mean it actually. While traveling through the world to join us, to join the Endeavor family, to make the connections, make the impact today. But of course, we've got our friend from Turkey with us with the amazing experience. So why you do it, basically?
I think like a two-level answer we can give. The first one is like a micro one, like in a moment, why do you see value and why do you do it? Mm-hmm. I think it's I am such a person. I like it from the beginning. It's the way you are. The macro answer is coming from the point that big ecosystems are happening via this very important attribute. So, like as in the all ecosystem, people are having this mindset, and it really creates the real ecosystem. And you don't need to mind like what's going to happen, what am I going to get up, etc. Rather, you should just like do it as it is, and the ecosystem is paying back to you anyway. So I think those are the two answers that I can give.
Anya, let's continue with you and tell me, of course, how big is your bubble? This is exactly the question I want to ask to Wiktor because his bubble is huge. But let's go, Anya, with you. You now have time to spend and share the knowledge, your experience, business experience with the other entrepreneurs.
That's true. I have, I would say, personal reasons to do it. It's from my perspective, it's not pragmatic. It's really what I believe in, and I feel that it's my contribution for people because I also got a lot of help, a lot of support doing business, which was not easy and challenging. And why I do it, I would start with a short story. When we went, me and my business partner, also female, we went to Italy for huge cosmetic fairs. We had our small exhibition there. We were just two of us. So two females on the cosmetic fairs. It sounds like nothing special, but you cannot imagine how many times when people came and asked about cooperation, how it works, and I said, okay, so let's talk. And suddenly there was a question, okay, could you ask your boss? And I said, but what do you mean? Well, no, is there any boss?
You mean a man?
Yes, a man. So
Okay.
seeing two women, it was so obvious, that there should be a man, a boss. And when my husband for one day came to help us, suddenly it was for many people so obvious that he's the boss and that we are just helping him. So basically that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm spending my free time to show that there's another way, that there are women doing business, women doing serious business, growing, scaling, and selling it. That's my story, that's my reason.
This is yet not typical, where we are in the city which is called the capital of entrepreneurship. Yeah, we are really proud of Poznań. We are lucky to see that such an amazing event like this is happening in here, but still this is not typical that others share the experience, that others share the contacts. And basically, let's imagine that I'm, again, the entrepreneur, and I'd wish to talk to some of you. So how well should I be prepared? Yeah. So do I need to have a certain problem or a certain challenge or a certain wish for you to introduce me, for example, to Elon Musk? Wiktor, I'm watching you again.
I don't know him.
Or just to challenge, if I want to challenge my idea, for example, for another venture, for another business, is it still a good opportunity to come to you and ask you questions? Would you find time for that?
I think at the end of the day, if you think about relationships and mentorship, asking questions, like it's always going to be a relationship. There has to be an element of kind of this going both ways. So I think for a lot of mentors, people who kind of spend their time, there's something in it for them, and trying to figure out what's in it for this other person. Maybe they just like sharing this knowledge, right? It's a lot of people are like that, but maybe they're looking to gain some experience from the new wave of innovation, of what the new startups are doing. So I think there always has to be this kind of at least thinking about that. Okay, what's in it for the other side? Whenever I'm trying to make an introduction, I'm always trying to see if I can make it in a way that's going to be valuable for both sides. And it can be a small thing. It can be really like somebody's in the same industry, but this is kind of the new hip technology or something. So that's the kind of both the mentee and mentor can get something out of it. So I think it's important when you're looking out and reaching out for those kind of introductions is to have this thing in your back of your head, like how can I make it also valuable for the other side?
So let's be extremely pragmatic here. We are talking about paying it forward. So we give our time, we give often our contacts, we give the leads, we give the ideas. Sometimes we spend more time with somebody on the business model, all the sales strategy. But as you said, it works both sides. So my question for you guys is now, while we pay it forward, so what do you remember that got back to you after paying it forward, after working with the people, with the entrepreneurs, if you bubble? So what was there or what is there for you? What have you learned? Arda, maybe with you?
With me?
Yeah.
I think like initially our first customers were paying to us in terms of like the good companies coming from the good ecosystems, and the ecosystem starting with the customers and the employees there, not the founders actually. And like I believe like many of our customers are quite supportive to understand the product, help with us. Of course, they were paying very less in terms of the invoices, but also like they were very supportive. I think that was like one of the few cases that we were supported, and also we were quite supported from our, let's say, angel investors, and they didn't know our business because they didn't do it, and we were unlucky that we don't have anyone who did the same job before.
Okay.
But they were always supportive and giving all the experience and everything that they can, and they try to connect us with their network to do the best. So it was
anybody else who, for example, you thought that this is impossible to reach from the network? Have you had that kind of amazing connection?
I think yes, like when we were quite small, like we were able to reach one of the big holdings of Turkey, Boyner Group. So like one of our, let's say, investors, Melih Ödemiş, who has initiated that and introduced us there. And at that point it was like an impossible meeting to get, and it was one of the turning points actually for the company, because after we unlocked that opportunity, the rest started to come, and it was kind of like a changing point.
Amazing. Andrew, and you?
I
For
would ju-
you,
yeah,
what
so-
have you learned or what have you gained?
Yeah, I would just say like, you know, over time as you build your business and it grows and it scales, and you know, you start to have like your systems and the bureaucracy and the pace at which you make decisions, everything kind of slows down. And what's really energizing about spending time with an entrepreneur, there's this naive optimism about like what one can do, that excitement, and you kind of need that naivety if you're going to do something that's really hard, if you're going to break into a new market, or if you're going to, you know, there's an incumbent that is like, you know, that has a solution that you're going to beat, right? Having that optimism, having that naivety is kind of what you need. And you know, and that's pretty energizing. And then you can bring that back to like your boardroom or your management team is like, okay, like remember back then when we just like thought we could do everything, you know, sometimes you just need that because companies tend to become pretty risk adverse as they get bigger, and rightfully so, but like, you know, they give
So
you a little bit of,
you have the energy back.
it gives you some of the energy, yes.
Amazing. Wiktor?
Well, I mean, I have so many stories. I mean, I have a story where
Pick one.
yeah, so I have a story where I went to an event, I met this random person who invited me to another event where I met another random person there, and then introduced me to their friend, like childhood friend, who happened to be an investor at the company, and this investor then introduced us to the company who's now our biggest client. And it's like a clear, I mean, sometimes it's really hard. Like sometimes you find somebody who will, you know, you make an introduction or you help somebody, and then kind of, you know, it's become processed so many times that you cannot really trace the path. But this is like one of the most clear stories I remember, where it's like really like 5 steps, super, super random, and then it goes back, and now we have a largest clients through this connection. So I think there's so many of those stories where we don't know this, and this is why I kind of believe in karma, like not a spiritual karma, but I believe that, you know, if you help people, it will eventually come back to you. You don't know really how. Sometimes you know that you see those like very clear connections, but a lot of the times you don't. But it does come back to you. So I think this is why it also gives me energy at times where, you know, you kind of and sometimes you learn about it after the years. Somebody tells you the story, it's like, wow, I never knew that this is actually coming from this, you know, long connection kind of, you know, rude.
Okay, I've got one more question. I really need to ask you that. So, how many shake hands before you met Joe?
So this is also a crazy
Biden.
story. So everybody knows because I posted it on LinkedIn, and I also posted it twice. So when he got elected as the president, I posted it again because I was I was rooting for him so much, so I can post it again on LinkedIn. But the story is, I went to an event that I was invited also out of nowhere. I don't know how I got invited to it, and then he was a speaker there, obviously, and I was just an attendee. And then we were flying back on the same flight. And I saw he was sitting in front of me. I didn't see it through the whole flight. And then we went to the bus. I was like, this no way, it's him. But it was him. And we chatted the whole trip it was in Frankfurt at the terminal. So we took a bus to the terminal. So we chatted for the whole 10 minutes on the bus back to Frankfurt. And then we got out, and I was like, I have to take a selfie with him. I'm gonna hate myself if I don't do that. And so I asked him again, and it was fine. So yeah. So it was really also like a random story because I went to this conference that somehow I got invited to it. I still don't know why.
Anya, and you? What kind of story you remember? The amazing thing that got back to you after paying it forward?
Well, I have also a lot of stories, but I got a lot of support from the beginning, and as my colleague said, the customers that buy your products, that believe in you from point zero, that pays money for their own money for what you do. This is this support that. So from my perspective, this paying forward starts from day one, from the first day. I'm obliged to give the best product that gives the best service, pay taxes, invest in people that could.
This is the taxes. This is a kind of paying it forward as well, yeah.
In my opinion, it is. It's like. I believe in sharing and not keeping it to myself. So everything, every decision is paying forward. For example, not entering a China market, which requires animal testing. So I decided I could earn more, but I don't want to because that's not what I believe in. So giving for charity, for picking up outsourcing companies that have the same values, So everything you do is you can pay forward from day one, and it gets back to you with more loyalty, more love of the brand, what you do, support. So it's like it's been said a little bit karma, but it's also just. Being a good person and making good business.
Guys, you had the chance today to actually sit in here to 3 panels. We've got one more talk just in a minute for you, but actually those people are available for you. All of us are somehow engaged in Endeavor Poland, where the biggest idea behind is, of course, to help entrepreneurs to scale, to actually conquer the different markets. And, well, I really, really hope that soon we will have the dreamed unicorn, Polish unicorn, and more cases of successful entrepreneurs from Poland, thanks to the attitude. So I encourage you with my colleagues to share, to ask questions, amazing people. Don't be afraid, even if you have just a blunt idea, to check that out with others who are more experienced like you. So we thank you. Now is the time for a short break, and I believe that we've got still one talk with our Bartek.
Thank you.
Thank you.